evening, everybody. I was going to just ask you if you can hear me, but this is a pretty hot mic, so. Good evening, welcome. My name is Katie Fields. I'm an assistant director from Delaware County Community College. We're super excited that you guys decided to come out this evening on this cold, kind of dreary Wednesday night, but we're super excited you're here. We have a lot of information to share with you tonight. Again, my name is Katie Fields. I'm one of the assistant directors at Delaware County Community College. I'm also going to be working with Ridley moving forward to help coordinate and recruit for the Dual Enrollment Pathways program. So tonight's presentation, we're really going to talk about some of the pathway programs that are going to be available to Ridley High School students. So we have a few of my colleagues up here from Delaware County Community College, a few deans, and then we also have the Vice President, Mary Jo Boyer, the Vice President of campus. She'll introduce herself a little bit later. But again, tonight we're just going to review the pathways, some of the opportunities that Ridley High School students can partake in pretty much free of charge. So with that said, let's get started. So for those of you who are not aware of what dual enrollment is, dual enrollment is a program that Delaware County Community College offers for high school students throughout the Delaware County as well as Chester counties. So Ridley High School, we have three established pathways right now where students can complete college level courses at the high school level. So later this evening we'll talk a little bit about the pathways already established, and then we'll also talk about some of the proposed programs. Hopefully we can start this upcoming fall. So some of the benefits to dual enrollment it allows students to be able to complete college level courses while they're still in high school. So as they're completing college level courses free of charge, because Ridley High School will be paying, they have the opportunity to experience what a college level course looks like. So they're able to come on campus, they're able to kind of experience what a college classroom looks like, what it feels like, the expectations, as well as what it's like to meet deadlines, right, to read a college syllabus. So it's a great opportunity for students to gain that experience before they even leave high school, and it also allows them to take those college credits, whether they want to continue at Delaware County Community College and possibly pursue an associate's degree with us, or if they would like to take those college level courses and potentially transfer them to another four-year private institution or public institution. The great thing about Delaware County Community College is that we do offer over 24 transfer agreements. So what that means is you can take the courses, most of the courses earned here at Delaware County Community College, and transfer them to schools like Westchester University, Widener University, Drexel University. So we have a lot of transfer agreements and transfer, what we call articulation agreements, with a ton of different schools in the local area. So with that said, we have two kind of different pathways that students can take through our dual enrollment pathway program with Ridley High School. We have the academic pathways, where students can take coursework towards pre-nursing. We also have a teacher academy, where students are able to take teaching courses diving into what it's like to be a teacher and to observe in the classroom. And then we also have this new business academy program that we're hoping to get started this upcoming fall. And again, later on in this presentation, some of our faculty will be able to go over a little bit more about those programs in detail. And then the other pathway we have are the skilled trades. And we have one of our deans today, the Assistant Dean of the Workforce and Economic Development, is here to talk to you a little bit more about the courses offered in that pathway. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mary Jo Boyer. She's going to talk a little bit about the pre-nursing program.
Good evening, everyone. It is so nice to see so many of you, especially with the weather forecast. We were concerned, so we're delighted to see you. I get to talk about pre-nursing. Thank you. I am one of the college vice presidents, but I'm also a registered nurse. And I was dean of the College of Nursing for 11 years. So it's near and dear to my heart. So we started this program last year with Ridley, the first high school in either county to try this program. So kudos to Ridley for the support for this. So what is this program and why do we have it? If you're interested in nursing, and goodness, the career field is wide open right now, lots and lots of job opportunities. But if you're interested, our program is very popular. It's difficult to get into. It's a hard program because of the sciences. So most students that apply to this program take several years of prerequisite courses before they actually start the core clinical part. And the clinical part takes 2 years. So the wonderful part about this program is that while you are in high school, you can start that 2-year journey of preparing to enter into the core courses that have the clinical component. So what we have done is designed it so that you can see you would end up taking these 8 courses. This keeps going, I'm not used to a mic, used to walking up and down the classroom. You take the 8 courses, and it's hard to see on this slide, but we have handouts for you. There are certain courses that have asterisks, and the asterisk courses are the ones that are prerequisites that every nursing applicant must take so that you have the opportunity to start ahead of the game, which is really nice. The other key part of this is in the second year, first semester, that's the anatomy and physiology course. That course is super popular because every allied health, pre-med, pre-nursing, respiratory therapy, physical therapy, everybody has to take that course. When it opens at midnight, at 12:01, it's full. We almost had our system crash once. So you get the opportunity to have seats reserved for you when you're in this sequence. So that's a gift that a lot of people would like to have. So this is a sequence. By the time you finish this, you will be able to start the application process. In addition to your nursing courses, there are 4 major ones. There'll be 3 additional courses that you would have to complete before you could graduate and apply for your licensure. So that's my presentation. Questions, I'm sure, at the end, aren't they? Yes, okay. So I should turn it over to business. Rich, okay.
Thank you, Mary Jo. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight? So my name is Richard McFadden. I'm the Dean of the Business, Computing, and Social Science area. So I have a lot of input and influence in these programs that we provided to Ridley. So I'm going to first talk about, we'll do the Business Academy first grade. Then we'll get into the Teacher Academy because it's in my area as well. I'm not going to stand directly up here. I would walk up and down the aisles. I'm more of an interactive type of instructor, so I do apologize. You might have to move a little bit with the camera to follow me. So I'm going to work with the Business Academy first. Does anybody know or have any idea of what the Business Academy is? Right, like this is in class where we're going to make and call on people. So does anybody have any idea of what we would really want to do and what our intentions are with students going into this academy? You raised your hand earlier, right? Did they say you raised your hand? No? Okay. So the Business Academy, what we really want to do and what I've intended to do with this certificate or degree program is provide students the opportunity to have connections and understand what it means to be in the business field. We really rely and provide a foundation with the coursework for you to have that interaction. Now, Katie had mentioned earlier that these degrees do transfer, and they do. And we've established articulation agreements, programs to four-year institutions. So the courses you complete here will seamlessly transfer to four-year institutions, such as Temple, such as Westchester. I just signed an agreement with Penn State University today. So we are looking to provide a foundation for students to move from the community college into a four-year institution. And remember, once you complete here, the TAOC institutions, they're the PASHE schools. That is Westchester, East Stroudsburg, Kutztown, Shippensburg. You transfer as a junior. You complete your program at our college, you do the 2 years, you transfer automatically as a junior. It's state mandated, it's under TAOC. You transfer under the 60 credits. That is a little bit advanced, but this business program leads you into that. So when we go over this, the sequence is pretty unique. It's designed in certain ways. So we start with a Psych 130 class, and this is personal career development. This used to be an INT 100 course. This was designed for you to get an idea of what it means to be a student. I've been with the college 10 plus years. I've worked with Mary Jo in several of these agreements, and I thought, you're already in high school, you've already prepared yourself. I think you're already moving beyond what it means to be a high school student because you're looking into the college. The Psych 130 course really examines what does it mean to be in your major. So the personal career development, you take the Myers-Briggs. Has anybody ever taken the Myers-Briggs before? Yes, right? We've all taken it years ago. What's the Myers-Briggs do? It tells you or provides you some statistical analysis and data on where your degree should be. Is this the pathway you really want to be in? And it gets you set to understand this is an occupation. If you're a business student, this is where you're going to be moving towards. This is your trajectory. If you're not, I still would stay in the program because these classes will transfer and they will be accepted into almost all the disciplines at the college, specifically in business, computing, and social science. So if you decide business is not your pathway, but you still complete it, all the classes would transfer into an EDJ program, which that's my background. Social work, my background. So it's not like you would lose out if you decide that you don't want to be a business major. We have an intro to technology, which majority of people understand, but it's not just computers, right? Not just Microsoft. It's a variety of other information you will learn about. PowerPoints, presentations, which are important, but it leads you into the other class like Business 130. We have it stacked in such a way they have Intro to Business 100, provides a foundation for you to understand what it means to be in the business world, and gives you a breadth of all the areas of business. Economics, then we move into Business 210, 230, which is advanced classes at the college. And then we have Business Law, which is one of our capstone courses, and Business 130, which is Business Communication. So this design has been established for you to be successful in such a way that it gives you the building blocks to get to your end point, and that would be receiving this certificate or degree program in this academy. We will answer questions later on. So I'm going to move now to the Teacher Academy. This is also in my area. And you can see there probably isn't similarity between the courses, but those classes would transfer into any discipline within the business division. So the Teacher Academy. I've been doing this now for several years, like I mentioned before, but we've offered this Teacher Academy at other high schools. Downingtown has it. Is there anybody else, Mary Jo? Three technicals, the CCIU and DCIU? CCIU, Chester County. So they've offered this for several years, and this is an established program here that we have at the college. And this is also an idea of a breadth for students that want to get involved in the education field. Again, like Mary Jo mentioned earlier about the nursing program, the education field is always hiring. It's always looking for established individuals in the field. And again, this provides you that breadth. So we have an intro to education course, English 100, and an observation class, EDU 110. Again, it's a theory-based. It's theory and it's a design in the first semester, and then there's practicality in the next. So when you get to the spring term, you have EDU 206 technology and EDU 215, that's placement. And we work with Ridley High School on the placement for this education program. So in the first semester, you have theory, and then the second semester, you have practicality. And you have to have that blend to understand what it means to work within the field of education. And students, once they get in, they're like, this may not be something I really wanted to do. Again, it's not that you should stay in the program because you can transfer anything in within our area. So now I'm going to hand it over to Phil. He's going to talk about skills trades. We'll be available afterwards if you have any questions, and please feel free to connect with us.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the 3 programs that we're hoping to offer in the fall. One is the Carpentry program, which we've been very successful at having students who will graduate this semester from the Carpentry program. And the next 2 programs, the HVAC program and the electrical program, are programs that we're hoping to introduce in the fall. Now, we're a little bit different than the academic side of things in terms of how the courses are offered. And what I've done here is, as you can see, you would, in the first semester of the 11th grade, you would get 3 courses. But these courses are what is considered advanced in terms of being able to take the CP 102 for 5 weeks, the CPT 105 for 5 weeks, and the TCS 105 for 5 weeks, for a total of 15 weeks. So the students get all the courses, 3 courses per semester, but only 1 course at a time. And we build on the knowledge that the students learn in terms of what they would need in terms of earning the certificate. Now, once they're completed the 12th grade, they earn their certificate in carpentry or electrical or HVAC. So it's a 2-year program. We expect juniors to apply, or sophomores to apply for their junior year, and then come to campus in the afternoon from 12 to 2:30 every day, and earn their certificate accordingly. And if you go to the next slide, I can show you, this is how the electrical sequence works in terms of programs that we offer. And then the last slide is how the HVAC program works. And you can see that as well. Now, all of these courses are associated with an associate's degree, so that all the credits that are earned from the certificate program can be applied to the associate's degree. And what I have here is that after the students graduate from high school, they can go to the community college and earn their associate's degree in 1 year, which is significantly better than students that just graduate from high school without the dual enrollment piece in place. So you can see that that what I advise students that are in the program is that if they want to work in the trades, just go for your certificate. But if you want to advance in the company, go for your degree, because the degree is what the employer looks for in terms of promoting people into that management type position. We also just landed a transfer agreement with Bloomsburg University. And Bloomsburg University will accept all of the credits for the associate's degree from the community college, and including all of the certificate credits, and put that towards a bachelor's degree in applied science as well. So the students can move on from their associates to get their bachelor's, which I thought was a good thing in terms of Bloomsburg, but even though Bloomsburg is a ways away, at least we have that in place. And as of now, I think I'm turning it back over to Katie.
Thanks so much, Phil, Mary Jo, and Rich. So the next part of the presentation is just a little bit about the application process. So obviously, if you are interested in applying to one of these pathway programs, we would ask that you definitely let Ms. Strang or Ms. McGinley know that you're interested first of all. Second thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and apply. So the application process is relatively straightforward. You're going to go to this website in bold, www.dccc.edu/dual enrollment. And this is kind of our main dual enrollment page. You'll want to click the Apply Now button at the very bottom of the page. The application should take you about maybe 15 to 20 minutes to complete, and it is completely free. And there is no obligation. So if you decide to apply and then you think about it, you go home, think about it, I've got a lot going on next year, I don't know if I'm going to be able to commit to this. Or I might have a really crazy schedule next year, I'm not sure. So even if you do decide to apply, there is no obligation to just let Ms. Strang or Ms. McGinley know that this isn't going to work. So that would be the first step, is completing our online application. After the application is complete, we would need qualifying scores. So as you can see, we would either need students to submit their SAT, ACT, PSAT, or Keystone scores. So I know with COVID that has kind of changed some of the testing. So we are this year accepting Keystone scores. So we are accepting either proficient or advanced in both literature as well as algebra. So the way that students would go about submitting these scores would be actually uploading the score report directly to their application. So they can either go onto College Board, check out their score report, and there should be like a little button at the very top of the score report where you can download the report. So you're going to want to make sure to download your score report through College Board, and then you'll upload it directly to your application. So you can either do it that way, or if you would rather hand it in to Ms. String or Ms. McGinley, that would be fine as well. But we do need the actual score report. We wouldn't accept any kind of screenshots. So if you take a screenshot with your phone, unfortunately, it's not going to be deemed official. So if you would need those qualifying scores for SAT or PSAT, we do look for, you could go back to the last slide, the one before that. Yeah, okay, thanks. So you'll see for SAT and PSAT, the reading and writing, we do ask for over a 500. And for the math, we would look for a 530 or higher. For ACT, we would look for an 18 in reading and a math in 20, or a 20 in math. And then again, for Keystone scores, we would look for proficient or advanced in literature as well as algebra. So if your student doesn't meet these qualifying scores, we would ask that they complete what we call a placement test. So every student would need, if they don't have the score, they would need to complete the placement test, and they can take that placement test either right online, or they can schedule it right on our campus at the our main Marple campus. The placement test typically takes about 2.5 hours to complete, and it's not a pass or fail. It's just really a way for us to see kind of where your skills lie in reading, writing, and math. So we want to make sure that you're scoring at college level so that we can place you in the appropriate college level math and English. So again, as long as students have those scores, I will go ahead and then register them for the appropriate courses in their program. So the other piece of it is after a student takes their score, takes their placement test or uploads their score report, we would ask that they also complete an online orientation. So this orientation just really goes over the expectations of what it's like to be a college student, as well as all the resources that we offer at Delaware County Community College. Okay, next slide. Okay, so some key points from today's presentation. Probably a lot of information, and I know you're probably going to go home and think, okay, it's a lot of stuff we were talking about today. But as you start thinking about this, you want to start thinking about some of the benefits, especially if you are thinking right now, hey, I really do want to go to college after high school, whether it be a community college, whether it be four-year institution, public, private, whatever the case, you want to start thinking about, okay, what are the ways that I can decrease what I'm going to have to pay out of pocket, and what are the ways that I'm going to save time? So that's where dual enrollment pathways programs can really do that for you. You also want to think about what are the expectations as a college level student? How do I want to prepare myself so that when I leave to go to hopefully my post-secondary institution. What skills am I gonna need to be successful? And that's where this program really does equip students, high school students, with those skills necessary to succeed. So something to note also is the application deadline. We are asking that students submit all applications by April 1st. So April 1st, I know it's only about a month or so away, but we are asking that students at least submit their application so that we can get their placement tests scheduled. So hopefully we can get everything in by April 15th. We would hope that students can take their placement test by that date so that we can get them registered before they leave for summer break. Also, students are expected to abide by college standards, policies, and the academic calendar. So really, we want to ensure that students are meeting all of the academic expectations as well as attendance policies as any college level student. So even though you're in high school, sometimes it's easy to think, oh, I'm a high school student, I can come into class late or I could skip. But in reality, this is a college level course, so this is a college level program, and we want to ensure that students know the expectations and what to expect in their coursework. And then also, we do expect students to maintain good academic standing. And with that said, we have a ton of resources at the college. Not only will I be a resource in case students feel like they're kind of overwhelmed with coursework or becoming stressed out or don't really kind of know where to turn, that's where you would definitely turn to me. I would have a lot of resources. I can, definitely connect you to the right offices, such as online tutoring and plenty of the other resources we offer on campus. So with that said, that actually concludes my presentation for the evening. I want to open it up to questions. So if you could just go to the next slide. This is my contact information. I will have my card on the front desk as you leave tonight, and I believe some of our deans will have their information as well. So I want to open it up right now to Q&A, and I'll have Ms. McKinley do. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead with questions. Does anybody have any questions for me or any of the deans that spoke today? Any questions? Yes. So that's a great question. So your question was, would they have to submit the PSAT, SAT, or Keystone, right? For the sophomores.
If I could just chime in here,
Yeah.
most of the students in this room are probably in 10th grade, so many of them have not had the opportunity to do any of the testing that's listed, except for the students who are interested in the Teacher Academy. So if that is the case for you, what you would do would schedule your AccuPlacer. Ms. McGinley and I are going to post on the 23rd, which is indicated on that sheet, which was handed to you. On the 23rd of this month, Ms. McGinley and I are going to post you guys in the boardroom, and we will sit with you and help you fill out the application in case you have any questions. That will be from 7:30 until 8:30 in the morning, okay? At which case, then you can go ahead and you'd be able to schedule your AccuPlacer, and I believe that's their delegate, correct? Once you have your account, then you would be able to go through and schedule yourself for AccuPlacer.
Perfect. Any other questions? Yeah. Yes, that's a great question.
Yes, transportation
Sure.
is included.
Yeah, just for everybody that didn't hear her, transportation is included. And I believe they usually they'll take the bus in the morning and then take the bus in the afternoon, correct? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. So the question was, are there any programs that are not during school hours, right?
I can kind of speak to that. Hi, everybody. I'm Mrs. McGinley. Thank you for responding to my invitation on this dreary night. I want to thank the folks again from Delaware County for being here. So, yeah, so when you saw that, I know it's a lot of information, it's overwhelming. If you're in the academic side, if you're in the nursing, teacher academy, or business programs, you would, if you're a morning student, that would be your blocks 1 and 2 time at Ridley. So you would be out at Delaware County, taking one class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and another class Tuesday and Thursday. You wouldn't be expected to begin until 3rd block here at Ridley, okay? If you're a PM student, like our nursing and business and carpentry students, you would take blocks 1 and 2 at Ridley, and then you'd have time for lunch, you catch a bus, you go out to Delaware County, and we do know that a lot of our students who are qualified for this program represent themselves in other realms. So if you're an athlete, if you're in the play, whatever it is that you do here after school, we ensure that we get you back here by 2:50 so that you can take part in any school activities. So we have several athletes, we have people in play, we have people in clubs, we have people with jobs. So we try to fit that into our actual high school day. It doesn't go beyond that day. The other thing that Katie had mentioned is the calendar. So I have some guys up here. Can you guys just turn around and wave and say hi? I'm so proud of you. So I have 4 juniors, and I just have to give these guys a shout out because they didn't have anything like this last year. And these kids were in a pandemic and literally watched Zoom sessions with all of us to tell them about these programs and took this leap of faith. And they didn't have to visit to the college like we did last year or anything. And I kind of met with them and I threw them on the bus last August, like my own children. And I'm like, bye guys, goodbye. And I just said, call me if you have any problems. And my nursing kids are about to have 12 credits as they go into their senior year. I don't think they realize that yet, but they're about to have 12 college credits. They navigated college not really knowing what they were stepping into, and I'm so proud of them. And then Tim, if you could wave to everybody, I got to give a shout out to my man Tim here. So Tim was a little baby sophomore 2 years ago when COVID started and joined our Carpentry program. That was our first group of kids that we sent. We did not do the academic programs until this year. Tim is graduating from Ridley High School with honors in June. He will have 31 college credits, and he enlisted in the Naval Academy, or into the Navy, and he goes to basic training on July 12th in Missouri, correct? National Guard. Okay. Tim may actually, when he comes back on September 26th, is looking to continue so that he can finish up with just 1 more year and have an associate's degree. So what do you be, 19 years old with an associate's degree? And basic training under your belt. So these guys will be available to answer the questions that none of us can answer because they're your kids pretty much. I mean, they just lived it for this past year. They rode the bus, they took the classes, they kind of know all of that. Again, great question about the Keystones. A lot of your kids haven't taken the PSAT or SAT. Keystone is given at the end of 10th grade English, and if you're finishing 4+3, that's why we suggest you sign up for Delaware County as soon as possible. It's free. It doesn't mean you've committed to Delaware County or anything like that. It just gives your student an ID. These guys will also be available in the boardroom on the 23rd to help any students who want to enroll online. That then allows you to take that active placer test that you schedule with Delaware County. So we thank you for the information, and we want to make sure we're available to continue helping you along in the pathway. Again, these guys followed it all the way through. We want to be available to help with that, and we're really, really proud of this program that we can offer it. Again, tuition, books, and transportation are all covered by Ridley School District. Do you have to maintain a certain grade level to stay in the program?
Yes, most of the programs require a grade level of 2.0 to continue.
And I also do want to point out that if your student does get accepted into Delaware County Community College, they are our student, but they're also Delaware County student. I won't be able to look up their grades at Delaware County. As a parent, you can't call up and say, how's Jimmy doing? You're not necessarily going to get that feedback. They are college students. So we do try to keep those lines of communication, but I really rely on the kids to let me know how that's going. So I think that's in your folder about, you are going onto a college campus and taking college level courses, so that expectation is there. But we also understand that they're 16 and 17 years old, so we're there to provide that support. So the kids do have a guidance counselor at Delaware County. They have their actual guidance counselor here, in addition to Mrs. String, who's the guidance counselor that oversees the program, and then they have me as well. So we filled in a lot of support for them.
I guess I could add to that and say that we have about 800 dual enrollment students at the college. So we're certainly used to helping you as much as possible. And when you're a student, you have all rights, privileges, and responsibilities. So, you know, as Katie said, you get to use our career center. You can talk to a career advisor who can help walk you through choices. You have our counseling service, you have our learning commons, all of our online support, all of our diversity conferences and sessions that are online. You're a student. So, you know, the good part is you have all that. The challenging part is you're young, you know, and you're making decisions and you're growing and you're maturing. So what students have told us that have exited, I'm sure your peers here will say the same thing. We put them in focus groups, and what they've said to us is that it helped them mature and manage their time. They were better high school students because they were more responsible. They learned how to communicate with a faculty member. And they're shaking their heads, and that's true. You know, mom can't call and say, oh, there's an orthodontist appointment. My son or daughter won't be in. It's college. You're expected to be there. And assignments, many instructors have no late assignments. So you learn, you mature. It's a gift. And the fact that it's paid for is unbelievable. Not all our high schools pay for the tuition and books and everything and transportation. Yeah, you better write a big thank you note to the board when you graduate.
I did also want to add, I don't have any of my teacher students here this evening, but one of the nice features in our partnership with Delaware County, the teacher academy is open to seniors, so you saw that they have fewer credits because it's just 1 year. The field experience requirement is what my kids are doing right now. That's offered as well through Ridley High School. The students can either become peer mentors, where they actually go out and they work in the elementary schools, one of our 7 elementary schools, or in the middle school, or sometimes even here at the high school to earn those field experience hours. Or if they're looking for more of the littler guys, they can work in our kitty corner, which is actually our preschool lab. That's an actual working classroom preschool with toddlers. And, you know, lesson plans get written and taught. And the kids are responsible for having the kids come in and give them their lessons. So they get their field hours right here in Ridley. So right now, my teacher academy students go out to Delaware County for class and leave on Wednesdays. Yep. And then they do their field hours out in the community, so through their peer mentor, and it helps them, I think, to build stronger relationships here in Ridley. And we're always looking for, you know, what's ahead in our future as far as educators are concerned. Now we know right where to pick them. Anybody else have any other questions?
Did your summer look up where these schools will accept the Delaware County Community Associate's degree? Like if they're trying to look into where to go next down there?
Good question.
The question on transfer? Yeah, on our website we have what we call transfer check, so that you can actually go in and look at the college, and then the college that your child is interested in will have alongside of it the concurrent courses that are applicable for transfer. The other thing is, and we always encourage our dual enrollment students to do this. In fact, we have the program set that by the time you're in your senior year, you're gonna meet with our transfer counselors anyway, and they're gonna sit down and look at this with you. We kind of know the most popular schools that our students are transferring to and what the different programs are. So it's there. Now, what we do say to everybody is, you know, you're going to have a lot of general education courses that are applicable all over. You may not be able to get course-specific credits transferable, depending on what that college wants. So you really have to kind of look at what the four-year institution, or if you're going to stay and complete something with us. And transfer. I have to let him talk, because otherwise he won't buy me lunch anymore.
I just wanted to add, it's a great question to ask, especially to parents, about what it means to transfer. So we do have, in addition to the transfer agreement, we have early acceptance packages. So students, and take advantage of this, you can go down to the transfer coordinator and sign off on as many as you want to, right? And you can find out what colleges are offering certain scholarships for certain GPAs. Then you can decide at the very end, that's the college you want to go to. It doesn't mean just because you do early acceptance that you're going to that institution. You can sign off on several of them and figure out, this is what I want to do. So we're always updating that, as well as updating program to program, P2P programs, that you will see through the transfer checklist. So if there's a college there that your student, your son or daughter is interested in, it's not listed, we're probably already making agreements with those institutions as well. So there's always opportunities for you to look at.
The schools that you do have agreements with, do they automatically transfer that whole associate's degree and you go into that school starting junior year? Or is it kind of a case-by-case basis?
Good question. So what we was asking for is whether or not your degree is an associate's degree would transfer automatically to a four-year institution. Not, so let me define it this way. The TAOP schools, which are PASHE institutions, which is 14 in the state, it's like a Westchester, Shippensburg, Kutztown, East Stroudsburg, they will accept it as a junior. They will take the 60 credits over, yes. Now, if you want to go to a private institution like Widener, Temple, Drexel, like Mary Jo said, they'll look at your transcripts and say, we'll take these courses. They may not be program to program, but we'll accept them as electives. So you may have to retake a class when you get to the four-year institution, but the PASHE institutions, they automatically transfer it. Right now, we're reviewing it, I think in 2010 was the last review through TAOC, and 5 of the programs in my area are being reviewed by our faculty to make sure the alignment is strong, that they automatically will transfer without any discrepancy from the community college to the four-year institutions.
And just to reiterate, the industry program with Bloomsburg, that agreement is done right at Delaware County's campus, correct? So the students could do 1 year after high school, finish with their associates, and transfer that into 2 more years through Bloomsburg at Delaware County, and they're finished with a bachelor's degree at that point. Any other questions? So can I just ask by show of hands, how many of your children attended the visit last week to Delaware County? Did they like what they saw? Okay. The campus is beautiful, so we are looking to do another visit more towards spring. And as we get more and more students interested, we're going to kind of figure out that date and obviously keep you and then post it of that as well. I'd like to turn it over now to Mrs. String. She's our counselor because she's going to do a lot of gathering of the information and answering a lot of questions with me on behalf of Delaware County.
Hi guys, thanks so much for coming out tonight. I really do appreciate that. As you walked in, you were given a folder. Within that folder is information that has the testing requirements. There's also a GPA requirement listed there. And then the date that Ms. McGinley and I will be hosting you guys in the boardroom if you choose to apply to Delaware County Community College. In addition to that, there's a sheet that Ridley High School is going to require you to fill out, understanding what you're signing up for, and that you will be responsible for passing your courses and following along with the calendar and rules at Delaware County Community College. So if you do decide to fill out the application and continue on with the program, make sure that you also hand that sheet to me in the counseling office. Did anybody else have any other questions before we finish up? I know our students will be here to answer questions. I know sometimes people like to, sure. And did anybody want to talk? Does anybody want to come give? Oh, they're calling you out, sorry. And I will meet everyone at the back, or I'll be walking along to collect those blue cards that I had asked you to fill out in the beginning as well.
Okay. I'm in the pre-nursing cohort, and I think Riley, Dean, me, and Alana all are. So far, it's been not easy, but the workload, if you're like really stressed about it because like college and stuff, and that like sounds scary, it's not as bad as you think it is. I was really nervous because of the workload, but so far it hasn't been like too terrible. It's all manageable, and the professors have been really helpful. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
One thing I want to add on that is like I was also very scared that I was going to be like the only high schooler there. I was going to be the outcast if it wasn't worth it. But I went, and being there, I found even more what do you call that? Dual enrollment students from other schools that I've become friends with, and I've also found college friends that like I'm pretty chill with, and we can talk. And you know, it's really nice to have more people out there than just your high school. Like, it's a whole world out there.
Hello, my name's Dean. One thing I'd like to add is I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm like amazingly standout student. I'm not all A's, I'm not distinguished honors, but I go in these classes and they're not as difficult as you think as a college class. You can go in there and you can get a B pretty easily. I'm not saying that I'm a lazy guy, but I'm not the most active guy that I know. Going into these classes, you get a better schedule, and as a football player, I get to go in and I get to leave around like 1:45, and I get back in time to practice no matter what. So it's great there. You get a really good lunch, I will say.
The last thing I'll say is I take the bus most days. Some days I do drive. But after class, I normally have anywhere between like 45 minutes to an hour until the bus driver comes, because Carpentry comes with us and they don't end until about 2. So I utilize my time on campus to go do homework, for whether it be for Ridley or for college classes, and I get it done like fairly fast that way. You have a lot of time to work because you don't really have a fourth block. You have first and second here, and you go out there for class, and then when you're done class, you're just done for the day. You may have to wait around on campus for a little bit if you don't drive, but you can use that time to be really productive, and like you just kind of find your like corner and your hiding spot, and I get a lot of work done when I do that. So definitely utilize your time on campus.
All right, so my name is Tim. I'm part of the residential carpentry program. I'm actually taking my last class, and then after the class I'll be getting my certificate. And like they were saying earlier, if I wanted to next year, which I'll try to, I can go back to Delaware County, do one more year to get my associates. And then from there I'll be able to transfer over. I've been thinking of transferring to Westchester University, because I know they have good ties there. It's an amazing program that they have for like all these teaching, pre-nursing, the trades, also through the residential carpentry. I've learned a lot, matured a lot through it, and there's actually we get to do like hands-on experience. For example, one of the classes that were up there, roofing, framing and roofing. I was able to go on a roof and put shingles on and all. I mean, it might not sound good, it might sound good to others, but it's really good to learn. Sorry, I'm not good at speaking, by the way. So there's also more like blueprint reading. You'll learn how to read blueprints, estimating how much materials you'll need and how much the cost would be. It's really, really good program that they have. Again, I learned a lot of real stuff. Like I also got a lot of hands-on experiences, and got to make new friends, matured again, and like they said earlier.
What certificates do you have?
Well, there's the residential carpentry certificate. I think the electrical certificate and the.
Will you have your OSHA?
Oh yeah, I also learned. I got my OSHA card. You take one class, and I believe I forget how many hours it was, but I was able to get my OSHA card. Which again, that class is really important. And also come along really helpful for later on in life. And I'm speaking a lot right now, but all free, for at least for me it was. You got free, it's basically a free education, free certificate, free busing and all. So, it's type for everything. But
The only thing I will add is definitely you have to learn to advocate for yourself. Your parents aren't going to be in contact with the college, it's all of you. If you have a problem with a teacher or anything, like me personally, I've been, the high school, so that will also transfer over to college, meaning that I personally have anxiety, so certain, like I can get like more time on a test and something, and that will transfer over to the college as well. So that's, I just want to add one more thing that kind of goes off that. The staff there is pretty amazing. Like, your professors differ. I've had very great experiences with mine. But even the staff members, as far as like the people that work in, you know, the cafe, the people that work at front desk, stuff like that, the people that help you get your ID. I mean, we have laptops now, but at the beginning of the year we didn't. So a lot of us went and borrowed a laptop from the college, and like the people there were incredible and made everything like pretty easy for us. So like you might have your own like worries and like stressors, but like at the end of the day, like there's not one time that I didn't, like I went to someone and they didn't help me, like it made it way easier than I thought it was gonna be.
They also use Canvas, which makes it pretty seamless for our kids because that's what we use here. So all of the professor's work comes out in Canvas, so that was something that they were very accustomed to.
Real quick before Dean talks, I want to bounce off what Alana just said about the staff. Our first day, there was miscommunication, and the woman, she's since retired, but the woman who was supposed to meet us and guide us through like how to navigate our classes that day didn't realize that that was the day we were coming. And we just asked some random guy, we were like, hey, we're here from Ridley, where's our class? Without hesitation, he helped us find our class and get us settled and navigate our schedules and stuff. So just about everyone is willing to help out.
I'd like to add just about how easy the time management is when you get there. I had to navigate through a football program and 2 jobs at the same time in my first semester. So it's not impossible to do a sport. Or, if you have like a tournament team or a job, it's pretty easy to navigate through. Again, I would just go through my regular day. I would go home, do my work, have 2 hours in between, and go right to work after that. And it all works out in the end. And sports are